Welcome to The Real Deal, where it's all about businesses in central Massachusetts and northeastern Connecticut. And now, your host, Anthony Chabot of Chabot and Associates.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the Real Deal Business Podcast. My name is Anthony Chabot, Chabot and Associates Real Estate Group of Keller Williams. And our next guest on the show is somebody that I've been looking forward to talking to for quite a while, Renee Berube from Renee's Working Girl Catering. She has a great location in Putnam, Connecticut. I've seen her at all the First Friday events, and then I think it was the last First Friday, and then after that, the Great Pumpkin Fest. And you had a grand opening and a ribbon cutting, and I believe it was a big announcement for the Putnam Business Association. So welcome to the podcast, Renee.
Thank you.
So can you tell us a little bit about what I'd like to do before we get too into it is I'd like to give your contact information, phone number, email address, Facebook page, web address, all that stuff.
Okay, so we're Renee's Working Girl Catering Service. You can reach us at 860-412-9365. Our webpage is workinggirlcatering.com, and you can email us at support, SUPPORT, at workinggirlcatering.com.
Okay, great. So can you tell us a little bit about what's going on with Renee's Working Girl Catering recently? Because I've seen you all over the news. So.
Well, we've been in business for 7 years now, and we just moved to Putnam in March. We were in East Killingly previously, and we were just off-site catering company. So now we have a grab-and-go section, and we love being in Putnam. It's a great town, and it's just so much energy here. It's great, and everybody's so supportive. And it's nice having a storefront so people can now stop in and get things. And we try to be at all the outdoor things. Speaking of being in Putnam, we try to be at all the First Fridays and the Pumpkin Festival, and whatever we can do in Putnam. We also get into the stuff in Killingly. We do a lot of Killingly events, or we're in Brooklyn. We pop up all over the place. We're in Basra at the Basra Farmers Market, and all season long. So it's fun.
So what made you decide Putnam? Just out of curiosity.
Well, my fiance is born and raised in Putnam, and he really talked me into the building we are in now. I was a Killingly girl, born and raised. I went to school in Killingly, went to college in Killingly, and so I kind of wanted to keep my business there, but he really loves Putnam, and not that I didn't love Putnam, because I always did. I was always part of the Putnam Business Association, but we kept looking at this one building in Putnam, and I wasn't really sold on it. Had been empty for about a year. But then he just kept at it, and we looked at it a couple times and finally saw his vision, and it was really perfect, and I'm really glad now that we've come to Putnam.
So if I know Putnam fairly well, which I believe I know the building, I've driven by it, I've seen the sign. I'm just trying to remember exactly which building it is. Can you tell me a little bit more about the location?
Well, it's the Old Athens Pizza Restaurant.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody knows it by the Old Athens Pizza. You can find us. We're right next to I believe it's Extra Mart, or there's a gas station right there. And then Chase Graphics is right next door.
Right. Okay. Yeah. It's a great building, great location.
Yeah.
A lot of parking out there.
A lot of parking. We have the biggest parking lot in Putnam, I like to tell people, besides Price Chopper. So.
And it is close to Price Chopper, right up the street. If you take that middle road up to Extra Mart there, it's right next to it.
Right in their backyard. Yep.
So I've been going to Athens Pizza since I was a little kid, and so now I can go into Renee's Working Girl Catering and grab and go. What's that? How does that work?
Well, you can come in and you can either call ahead and have something hot and ready for you, or customized, or you can just pop in and see.
I didn't realize that you could do that with you guys.
Or you can come in and get something out of the fridges that's already pre-made.
That's perfect.
We have frozen stuff too, so if you want to fill up for the freezer for the kids for the weekend or something like that, if you're going away, or if you're elderly, we have a lot of elderly clients that come in and get food that they put in their freezer so that they can just, take out single meals.
I love that idea.
Yeah, it's great. It's very convenient. We just started. We have a few tables now, so people can just sit and eat if they want to come in and grab something quick.
So, I really had no idea, because I was just asking about the restaurant possibilities, and you are a restaurant already,
well,
kind of,
yeah. So it's like fast casual, you call it. So you can come in and pick your food, awesome. Pay for it, and then you can sit and eat. We'll heat it for you. Or if, you want a custom-made sandwich or a salad, we'll do that for you, too, while you're there.
So what types of food? If I went in there, like, say, on a Tuesday afternoon, are your hours, what are your hours, 8 to 4? Or?
Well, we're open Monday through Friday, 11 to 6, and on Saturday, 11 to 4, and closed on Sundays. But if you need to come in, at 9 o'clock in the morning to pick up something for your party, we can schedule that for you.
Oh,
so
you can
just
make
call it in.
accommodations for that?
We're extremely accommodating.
So say if I just came in on a whim on a Tuesday at 11:30, what do I have to choose from as food, if on the run?
Well, we're on Facebook every day, so we put our menu up there. We change it every day. We do everything. Everything is made in-house from scratch, so we can really customize what we do. We really try to work with people's dietary needs and if they have allergies or anything like that too. So, we make our own stocks and our own dressings and stuff to make sure there's no gluten in it, or if it needs to be vegan or whatever. So, we really customize everything. We're doing everything fresh every day, changing the menu every day. We always have some of the old favorites, but you can get on our email list, or you can look on Facebook every day for our menu, or you can just call ahead and we'll let you know what we have.
Well, what are some of the old favorites that you're talking about, just so I get an idea?
It seems like the chicken pot pie has been the...
That sounds perfect.
Yeah, and we change it up a little bit.
Day.
Yeah, we change it up a little bit. We put some biscuits on it sometimes. We'll do ham instead of chicken, or we'll do some little different tweaks. But
How do you beat chicken pot pie?
I know,
Who doesn't
right?
like chicken pot pie?
It seems like
Except
everybody
vegans.
does. Yeah, and in this area, we get a lot of requests for meat pies too, so we've been doing those sometimes. And everybody loves our soup, because we do make our soup from scratch every day. We make something different. And now that we're getting into the colder months, we're going to be doing a couple different ones every day, and it's nice and hot. And
So I could just stop in and grab some chicken pot pie every day?
Pretty much, yes.
And what's is it the whole pie? Is it there some sort of like a half a pie, or what are the portion size for that?
So it depends. We've been running it for either 1 or 2, and people will say our portions are very generous. So even if it says
Great.
it's for 1, it's probably way bigger than 1 meal.
And I can just pop in and grab it and go in like 5-10 minutes and
Yes.
it's ready?
Yes.
That sounds like a dream come true.
Yeah. It's very
Seriously,
convenient.
I love that idea.
Very convenient.
I love chicken pot pie, so I could definitely see myself stopping in a couple times a week. See, this is one thing I love about this podcast is that there are a lot of businesses around in the area that I would never know that you could actually do that. And I don't know if I've seen it advertised and it didn't click with me or what. But
Right.
But now that we're talking about it, this is definitely like, I drive by there all the time.
Yeah.
And I could easily, there's no parking issue over there. I just pull in, grab something, hit the road, and that's what I love. And it's actually healthy food too. I mean, because when I'm on the road, it's Dunkin' Donuts or McDonald's. If I drive through, it's like I don't have time to just
That's the
go
great
anywhere.
thing. We always have some paleo meals or keto meals, if you're familiar with those. We always have vegan, vegetarian foods. So if you're on a diet and you're looking for, you haven't eaten all day and you're starving, what are you going to do? You're probably going to
That's so
stop at
hard.
one of the fast food restaurants and just grab something. That's probably not what you should be eating.
I'm so bad when it comes to that. And for quite a while, I was going mountain biking, trying to take good care of myself, eating healthy. I ate a lot of omelets, and on the griddle at home, I was making a bunch of really healthy food.
Yeah.
And it's just been so crazy for like the last 2 years. I honestly I don't have time to even. I'm running late for the next appointment all the time, so I don't have time to stop anywhere. And I probably should make meals for myself and then bring them with me, but that's such a hassle. I feel I'm so lazy when it comes to that. I just want to grab something real quick. So your solution is perfect.
Well,
I
we
feel
always have it.
A lot of people could benefit from that.
Yeah, we have a client that just started a couple weeks ago. They come in 4 days a week, and we have their meals ready for them. It's her and her daughter, and it's paleo one day and it's keto the next. So
That's a great solution.
Yeah.
So you almost don't even have to think about it. You already have a plan for people.
Yeah, they never tell us what they want. They just tell us, chef choice, as long as it's a paleo meal.
Whoa.
But some people will choose and call up and say, no, we want to do, a specific paleo meal, and we'll do that too.
That's a great idea. Because see, for a long time, I've been thinking to myself, what I really need is a meal plan that can provide me with a menu that I can either choose from, or it could just tell me, here's what you can eat on Monday through Friday. Right. And then maybe on Saturday and Sunday you can kind of go crazy a little bit, whatever you want. Exactly. But at least Monday through Friday you're sticking to the plan, and here's the plan for you. And I love every food. I don't have to really, I'm not picky at all. Yeah. I'll eat just about anything, honestly. I can't think of many foods that I don't like. So I could go to you and come up with some sort of a thing where I just go there every day and pick up my food, and
we have it waiting for you.
That's great.
Yeah. It's great. It is great. I mean, how convenient is that? No excuse to not eat healthy.
So what about, just out of curiosity, I'm trying to get a feel for some of the types of foods that you have. So what about like sandwiches, wraps?
We
stuff
do
like
that too. I mean, we're trying not to be our darndest, not to be a sandwich place. But that's what, people want a sandwich or a wrap, and it's quick, and they're really, craving a chicken Caesar wrap. Then obviously sometimes we have those pre-made in the fridge, so they don't have to wait to have it made. Sometimes people want a combo sandwich and they don't want any tomatoes on it, and they're very specific, so we'll make it for them right there.
That sounds great. And so what other types of stuff do you have? You said that
Well, we always have entrees. So our refrigerator section starts kind of with the entrees, and there's always a wide range of different things. There's some home-cooked type meals. There's some decadent things that are, and then there's some...
What are some of the... I like the home-cooked ones.
The home-cooked...
Do you have like some sort of almost a Thanksgiving dinner type of situation
we've done the Thanksgiving
I love
dinner
that idea.
a couple times now. That was very popular. Today we had traditional stuffed chicken breast with butternut squash and mashed potatoes. So, it's like something you'd have for dinner at Mom's house.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's good. What about, what about green beans and asparagus and stuff like that? Or do you do steak or...
Yeah, we do steak tips quite often because those are something that people can reheat pretty easy. So usually we do prime rib. Usually once a week we'll have prime rib dinners. Wow. We were doing lobster rolls during the summer, but we've kind of discontinued that for right now because people aren't really looking for that kind of a thing. But we just had seafood stuffed shells last week because we do a lot of Italian. I am part Italian, so
Great.
my mom taught me how to make the sauce. So we did the stuffed shells, and somebody said that was the best seafood stuffed shell they'd ever ate in their life. So
Wow.
we're getting a lot of good feedback.
I've heard a lot of good things, and I've seen you around quite a bit. So you're a member of the Putnam Business Association? Are you a member of the other business associations or any other organizations in the area?
Yeah, Putnam Business Association, Killenly Business Association, Brooklyn Business Association, and the Chamber of Commerce.
Okay, I'm a member of the PBA, the KBA, the WBA, Woodstock, and I went to a Thompson meeting. I haven't been to the Brooklyn meeting yet. I am a member of the Chamber of Commerce, and I'll tell you, it's hard to make all these meetings.
It really is, yeah.
and the PBA, I'm a member of the Downtown Putnam, or I think it's called the Putnam Main Street Committee.
Yes.
And that one meets every week.
Yes.
And there's a lot going on with that one, too, because it's Putnam Main Street. So it's really interesting to see all the things that are going on, and I love to be part of Putnam because it is such a thriving community, and there's so many people that care about Putnam. I think that's the thing. A lot of people care about a lot of towns in northeastern Connecticut, but for some reason, it's just Putnam is just got 10 times the amount of people.
They just have a great vibe going on right
And
now. They have the right people involved in the shops that are coming in and the restaurants. And they say if the restaurants come, then everything else follows. And they have
we did that right then.
Yeah, exactly. They have had
a lot of restaurants
these
there.
Great restaurants. Yeah, the courthouse and 85 Main. And
And they are great restaurants.
They really are.
And also, that's the thing to me that's so great about Putnam is that you can step into downtown Putnam and you can walk from one end to the other, and it's not a long distance. It's not like when you go to Shrewsbury Street in Worcester, and it's, 5 miles maybe from one side. If I had to guess, maybe 3 miles or something.
I'd say probably 5.
You're right. It's pretty long.
It's a hike, yeah. Exactly.
So when you have the taste of Shrewsbury Street, you're really going on quite a hike that day.
Right.
And you might not make it back to the other side, but if you were doing the same thing in Putnam, you could easily go from one end to the other 3 or 4 times.
Exactly.
It's a really manageable downtown area, which is nice. And it's also got kind of a cross-shaped thing going on so that you can go from the post office to the crossings, and then you can go from Cargill Falls and walk down to, actually, you can go down to Rotary Park for the performances by the bandstand.
Yeah.
And River Fire.
It's pretty perfect.
It doesn't get much better than downtown Putnam for New England.
It doesn't.
We have it really is an accommodating area for businesses and people to gather, and now we have the technology park that's coming in down there.
Yep.
And a lot of great things as far as First Fridays and the Great Pumpkin Fest and the Fire and Ice and the Putnam Business Association. You know what I would love? I can't always make it to the Putnam Business Association meeting because I have a lot of stuff going on, like everybody does.
Right.
I try to make it every month, but this past month has just been so crazy that I didn't make the KDA, I didn't make the PBA, and I didn't make the QCBNA, which is right over here, the Quiet Corner Business Networking Association, which is another one. It's a small group that I'm part of. But anyway, it's really great to have you in downtown Putnam because it seems like for some reason you just have a following. The name, the reputation, and the new location right over there. And now I'm learning that I can go in there and grab stuff, which is excellent.
Yeah, we're always trying to add new things. You know, we love to be out in the community, and people will say to me all the time, I see you everywhere. You're all over the place. And
I do see your name and hear it quite a bit.
Yeah,
emails.
Well, we're trying it. We're trying, so it's apparently something's working.
How do you have events throughout the week when you go and you cater? Is it corporate events? You know, so you have a lot of companies like, you know, Frito-Lay, Crabtree, England, industrial park businesses like, I don't know, Rental Tool. I'm just throwing out names.
Yeah.
Do you have a business foundation where these people just call you to, if they're having a company party, they'll just have you cater it?
Yes.
Or
yeah,
hospital?
We do a lot of all week long. That's where our business is. We do a lot of corporate catering, whether they're just having meetings or if they are having, you know, something special with their employees or they're having a party or something like that. We do that all week long. We also do a lot of pharmaceutical rep stuff for the doctor's offices or the hospital. So those are the types of things we do during the week.
Pharmaceutical reps, now you're talking, right? That's big bucks, those guys. They hook you right up with some good food there.
Yeah. Well, so we, you know, typically when they go out for the dinners, that's usually where they the big bucks. We just do the lunches in the doctor's office. I shouldn't say just, but, you know, they're big and they're great. We love doing those. But they're not quite as big scale as the dinners. But
they have some pretty good marketing budgets, I heard, over there at the pharmaceutical companies.
I think it's changed a little bit, but
is it?
Yeah, I think it's gone down a little bit over the years. But
so what if somebody's having a real estate meeting, when anybody that's related to real estate in northeastern Connecticut or central Massachusetts wants to show up and, you know, they're expecting 15 or 20 people, or maybe they're having a broker open house at a house that they have for sale and they're expecting to have 15 or 20 other realtors show up. Can you handle that type of an environment? And, you know, what type of lead time do you need for that type of thing?
Well, usually we ask for something like 24 hours for something like that.
Okay,
so
that's not bad.
No, not at all. I mean, I had actually somebody come in this morning and order a dinner for tonight for 12 people. So, and we handled that no problem. It depends if you want something a little more specialized or more specific. Mm-hmm. But this person was kind of open, like literally as long as it was a hot meal, he didn't really care what it was. So obviously we would do that in hours. You know, it was not a big deal. But like, again, if you're looking for something real specific, then it's going to take us a little bit more time. But we don't usually tell anybody no. I can't remember the last time we told somebody no. So pretty much as much time as you have, you can let us know. And we'll work with your budget. Because sometimes those types of things are, you know, you want to have a specific budget on that. So you can call us up and you just let us know. You know, some people work like that, where this is what I'm trying to spend and not go over this amount, and I have 12 people, and we'll go from there.
So you can do something where if there's a lunch and learn for the Board of Realtors or the Chamber of Commerce, and there's a continuing education class somewhere, and somebody's there, they know they're going to have 18 people that have already registered for the event. They might have 20, you know, or somewhere around there, and they're looking to do maybe $10 for a sandwich, chips, and a pickle kind of thing.
Yeah.
You can handle that type of thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
But you could also handle if somebody wants to have a little bit more of an upscale office party, and maybe they want to have a open, I don't know, some sort of thing people can choose from, sort of a buffet type of situation?
Yes, absolutely. So we can do something very upscale, but kind of casual also. But where the food's upscale and
like a cheese plate
kind of
and
laid out. Yeah.
some sort of a vegetable section over there, and
right, or an antipasto display, or you know,
some
in
hors
small
d'oeuvres.
Pieces of orders. Yes, yeah.
Great.
So we do all that. But we run the gamut. We really
What
do.
about barbecue stuff? Do you do anything with spare ribs or?
We
I don't know
do.
whether...
We do a lot of barbecue. We have a barbecue menu on our website that you can check out with a lot of ideas. And I always say our menus are ideas because I don't lock anybody in. So somebody will call up once in a while and they'll say, you know, my aunt makes the best chicken wings, and if I give you a recipe, would you make that for it? Absolutely.
Oh, that's great.
Absolutely. But yeah, barbecue, we do that quite often. That's been pretty popular for even the weddings, which sounds kind of crazy, but people are really liking the barbecue option for their wedding. So we do that a lot. We don't do in-house smoking. We have somebody we get that from somebody else that does this. He is quite a large smoker, so he does that for us. So that's an option too, if you're looking for smoked brisket or something like that. We bring grills right to the site if we need to, and we'll do everything from hot dogs and hamburgers to T-bone steaks.
So do you do weddings? Do you cater weddings?
Oh, yes.
Oh, I didn't realize. I would imagine that's a major job.
Yeah. We're just kind of coming out of our wedding season, but we just had a wedding this past weekend, and we have another one this weekend. So we're just went from 4 to 5 weddings in the weekend to now we're probably down to about 1 wedding.
Oh, wow.
Weekend. Yes.
So would you say that that's a major part of your business, the wedding?
It is a big part of the business, and it gets more every year. The more we get under our belt, and the more, because, brides want to know that you're a seasoned caterer and that you know what you're doing, because, that's the most important part of their day, their whole life, so they want to be very sure that you're going to get it right.
So just out of curiosity, with the wedding, so you would be the only provider of everything for the whole wedding?
Well, pretty much. Sometimes people have somebody who wants to do the cake for them. They know somebody else that does cakes, and that's what they're getting as their wedding present, or they have a favorite bakery. So we'll serve the cake, and that's not a problem. Or, maybe they want to bring in a certain order that their uncle makes great something, and so and we've worked with other people who do smoking, so they might have smoked meats, and we just serve everything else on site. So we're definitely accommodating as far as that goes. But we do have a full liquor license, so we can also handle all your bar services also.
Oh, that totally changes everything then.
Yeah.
But you could have a food truck with, I don't know if you can do this.
Yeah.
But do you have a food truck?
We don't have a food truck.
Are you working on one down the road, do you think? Maybe a possibility?
Possibility.
Can
you
I
never
talk
know.
you into one?
The thing about the food truck is that, and people ask me this all the time, and my girls would be really happy if we had a food truck, because then they wouldn't have to pack it, unpack it, pack it, unpack it. But the thing for me is when people see us at First Friday, they've come to see us in our setup, and we've been there for 7 years now, and they look for us, and they look for that setup. It's very simple, and it's like it kind of fits into that whole thing. It's not this big truck, and I think it just fits us, that type of setup with the tent and the tables, and they can see us cooking.
It does suit you guys really well.
Yeah.
And you know what? Now that I think of it, were you guys at Harmonies and Hops?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So now I remember you guys, because I was going around taking pictures of everybody at Harmonies and Hops, because I know the guys, Mike and Corey from Black Pond Brews, really well.
Yeah.
And I love the Harmonies and Hops event.
Yeah, it is a great event.
So I've definitely seen you guys there before, and you've been doing that for a couple of years, right?
Yeah.
Last couple of years.
Yep.
Okay, great.
Yep.
So maybe we could talk you into getting a food truck, and then you could put beer taps on the side of the truck. And
it's a big thing now.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
And you could it's all in one. You just provide local breweries, and you have your food ready to go, and everybody's happy.
Oh yeah, everybody would be very happy with that. I'm very happy. Yes.
Any possibility of that happening down the road?
You never know what I'm going to do. You never know. I'm not. I really am not into getting a restaurant. I feel like you do one thing and you do it well, and I mean that would just be a compliment to the catering. Yeah. So that's not like it's something different, but. Everybody always asks me about the restaurant, and I just, no, I like being a caterer. That's where my heart is. So,
there was one time I went to this event in Worcester, and it was, it's kind of a funny little event that they have up there. And the food truck with the taps on the side of it reminded me of it, because Wachusett Brewery. Yeah. Well, it's in West Boylston, this event, and I used to do it with a car dealership in Worcester. And so he would be kind of like the host, and he's a real ham. So he would just walk around with this microphone, and I'd be the cameraman running around with the Steadicam, capturing all this on camera, and he'd have a wireless microphone, and he'd be introducing everybody and talking to everybody, be running all over the place and making it like a fun event. And then Wachusett Brewery, it was the shortest St. Patrick's Day parade in the world. That's what it is. It's in West Boylston, and it literally goes around a restaurant and back. But there's like literally thousands of people that go to this event.
That's great.
And so there's the Wachusett Brewery would show up with their fire truck, because they have their own fire truck that has instead of fire hoses, it has beer taps on the side of it, all awesome. Down the fire truck. It's so awesome, but that must have been so ridiculously expensive.
Yeah.
But something like that would be pretty fun.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, because we get a lot of requests for things like that. And the more weddings we do, people are really, that's the trend now, is that you have to do something different at your wedding. You know, it has to be unique. I mean, years ago, everybody did the same thing. It was all chicken dance and, 57 people at a head table. And now that's not what anybody does anymore. Everybody does something completely different.
I went to a wedding a couple months ago that was just like what you're talking about. They actually had, I think it was a couple different, I don't remember if it was food trucks or a couple different caterers. There was like a pizza guy, all this different stuff going on, and it was pretty cool.
We're at Allen Hill Tree Farm in Brooklyn a lot. We love doing weddings there. I don't know if you've been there for a wedding or not.
I haven't been there for a wedding, but I've been there for Christmas trees.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of the best places around.
It's a beautiful venue, beautiful.
It's so freezing. God, it's so cold up there.
It is pretty cold, but it's great in the summer.
You hope for a nice sunny day.
Yeah, exactly. So we do lots of weddings up there, and we just did the last one we did. I believe it was a few weeks ago, and they had a pizza. Oh no, they didn't. They had a food truck, but it was hot dogs and hamburgers, like gourmet and gourmet fries and stuff like that for dinner. And we provided all the service and the appetizers and we did the bar and pretty much everything else. But they had a fun food truck for dinner.
It is fun. I don't know what it is about food trucks. They are kind of fun. I think it adds a little bit of variety to it.
Yeah.
So you guys would provide the food for the main event. And then the food truck would come in the back and give like a little variety or some kind of special something else.
Usually, well, they've done it a bunch of different ways. So they've had the food truck maybe for the appetizers, and then we do all the other service. And we clean up bowls, they're doing it and whatever because they are pretty contained in their truck. And then sometimes they have it for their main meal, or sometimes they have it for their after snack.
Like an ice cream truck would be pretty cool to have at a wedding too. Why not?
Yeah, or a donut truck.
So, what are some of the areas that did we already talk about? How far north do you go, and east and west and south?
Well, we go all over Connecticut.
Oh wow!
We have been way up in the northwest corner of Connecticut many times. We are almost in New York. We're all over the place in Connecticut. We go all over in Rhode Island. And we go up into Massachusetts, we're in the Worcester area all the time. And it's really going to depend outside of that area, how big your event is, or,
Right. I'll list $1 million house.
Yeah, if it's way over in Massachusetts up in the northwest corner, that's going to be, it's going to have to be a pretty big event for me to go up that far. But.
Right, yeah. I would probably, I would say if I had to drive, it wouldn't really matter how far I had to drive. It was $1 million listing.
Exactly.
You got to drive.
Exactly.
But if it's, you do, when you get down into the little bit lower commission or the lower, profit margin, that kind of thing, you kind of have to weigh. Maybe you're better off going with somebody that's closer to you because it's going to be a ton of time for me to handle something like that out there.
Exactly.
Yeah. So like I typically, for real estate photography, I'll go an hour from where I am, in any direction.
That's pretty typical for us too. We don't go usually too much over an hour, maybe an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah, me too.
But,
try to keep it under about an hour. I try to keep it under an hour.
Yeah.
A lot of times, for some reason, it just ends up being like an hour and 5 minutes. And I'm like, why is it always an hour and 5 minutes?
Yeah.
But I'm not complaining.
Right, exactly.
Happy to have the business.
Yes, me too. And that's why we kind of say all that. So, you give us a call. Even if you think you're out of our range, we'll talk about it. And it's usually pretty negotiable.
Yeah, sometimes there's a small additional fee for travel if I have to. If it makes sense to have to charge that extra little bit of fee. But if I have a couple shoots that are out, if I'm doing a couple things that are out in just on the borderline of an hour, great, no extra fee for that. I'll just go out there and I'll go from one to the next and I won't charge the extra. So I'm trying to think of, for some reason I love asparagus. Do you guys do a lot of asparagus over there?
We do, especially when it's in season. We try to really we work with a lot of the local farms. So we try to do seasonal food a lot, especially those vegetables, because we are in just the perfect spot up in this northeast corner of the state with these beautiful farms that we have. So right now we're selling a lot of pumpkin and butternut squash and apples and that kind of thing.
Have any of the local organizations hit you up for the events in the fall that are coming up, where you have a bunch of restaurants that are or caterers that are coming up? So which ones are you going to be at for that? We're
pretty much at all of them.
Oh, really? Okay.
So what's coming up next is the Chambers
Tastefully New England.
Tastefully New England, yes, up at the Raceway.
Right.
And that's a great event. That's the biggest one.
I'm planning to be there.
Yeah,
so
it's
I'll
fun.
see you there.
It's a lot of fun. And we always do it pretty big there. And we do usually a trio of something. So we're trying to, right now, come up with that menu. So if you have any suggestions, something you want to see. We just won the... in Putnam, they did the Savor the Flavor.
Oh, yes. I was there for that, too, for the bacon.
And we won the Judge's Choice for our bacon-wrapped jalapeno popper. So that was fun.
That sounds good.
Yes, it was really good.
I love anything bacon-wrapped scallops, bacon-wrapped jalapeno poppers. You
Yes.
name it. If it's bacon-wrapped, I love it.
Well, the good thing I feel like with our bacon-wrapped jalapeno popper is that they're gluten-free. And so they're paleo, keto, whatever it is you're doing there, because there's no breadcrumbs or anything of that involved.
So anybody can have it, except vegans.
Yes, except vegans. No vegans for
Right.
that one, but so those events are fun. You know, we like the Owl Garden Party, and you know that's for the Audubon, and we have the
What is that one called?
the Owl Garden Party.
Owl?
That's in June.
Owl?
Owl.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So it's with the Audubon Society?
Yeah, it's up in
June?
Pomfret at the
Yeah.
Audubon Society, and that's fun. That's a really nice fundraiser that we do.
I've never heard of that one.
Yeah,
I love the
that's
Audubon
good.
Society, but I haven't heard of that event.
Yeah, and it's just always so nice up there. It's beautiful.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The sunset's great, and they're great people to work with, too.
How about any other events that you have coming up that you do throughout the year, or your own events, or anything that you wanted to talk about?
So we are having, this is maybe our first annual, I'm not sure, but we want people to come in and check out our facility. We're going to try to do maybe some small meetings there, or maybe even some small pop-up dinners or something like
so
that.
You have an event venue that you can also
Kind of,
rent
yeah.
out.
It's not real big space, but you know, if
That's
you're having
good.
a small meeting, or if you're just having a family dinner, you know, you have 10 people and you can't fit them in your house or something, and you want to just have dinner there
Wow.
at 6:00 on a Friday evening or something like that, we can accommodate that. So we're going to start doing that. We just want people to come in and check out and see what we're all about. Maybe try some of our food. So I can't remember the date, but it's in November, and we are going to have a tasting event.
So people could check it out at your Facebook page?
Yes.
So
it
just
will
look
be
up
on there. Yep.
Renee's Working Girl Catering on Facebook.
Yes.
Like their page, check out their events. And then also, is there another place that they can probably just give you a call too, right?
Yeah, they
What's
can
your
always
number
give
again?
us a call. It's 860-412-9365.
Okay, I know we're kind of still in the middle. I like to think we're really only 32 minutes in, which is not that long. I like to make these podcasts at least 20 minutes, 45, at least 20 to 45, and it is 8:50 p.m. So they are going to be kicking us out in about 5 minutes. We kind of do have to round it off a little bit.
Okay.
But what are some of the other events? Because I'm sure there are probably a couple others that you're going to be at.
Well, let's see. Coming up, Tastefully New England. What else are we doing this year? It's because we're kind of limited. We have to be in a venue somewhere because we are all off site as far as the bigger events.
Mm-hmm. What if
We have Thanksgiving coming up, so that's something that's we're gearing up for that because this year it'll be bigger than it typically is. We work Thanksgiving Day. We'll drop off your Thanksgiving meal to you. So if you schedule that ahead of time, we can bring it to your door.
I like that idea.
And if you want to you don't want to pay the delivery fee, you can come pick it up.
I like that idea a lot.
Yeah.
Especially if I have my kids on Thanksgiving, because I'm not a cook in any way. I wish I were. It's just, not my thing.
Right.
So if I have my kids on Thanksgiving, it's like, what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
But that's a perfect solution. I could come up with, I could just call Renee's Working Girl Catering and I'm good.
And you can pick up anything. You don't have to pick up a complete meal. You can just pick up the turkey if you don't feel like making the turkey, or maybe you want to make your own turkey, but you don't want to make all those sides. So you can just pick up all the sides, or maybe just dessert.
And you do the full traditional, anything you could imagine for Thanksgiving, you have it all?
Yes.
Great. Well, that's easy.
Yeah, we have a menu posted on our website, but again, you're not limited. So turnip may not be on there, but we certainly will make you turnip if you want turnip. So
Turnip. Man, I don't even know if I've ever really had turnip before. I'm trying to think artichoke. I'm trying to think of some strange things that I've never had before. Artichoke hearts. I don't know.
You've never had artichoke?
I don't think I've ever had it. I don't know. It just strikes me as a strange thing. I don't know. It's like an odd thing. I can't
say that because it always surprises me when people haven't had different things like that, because my family is all, they're all foodies.
You're all over the place when it
And
comes to
we never
wide
stop
variety.
talking about food ever, and we're just always eating and cooking and talking about food. So
That does lead me to another question I wanted to ask you. Whenever I go into a restaurant, I always like to ask them, and everybody always makes fun of me or gets mad at me if it's my girlfriend or my kids. So I always go in there and I never really know what I want. I like everything, so it's really easy for me to pick something because I'll just be like, yeah, I'll go with that. But what I really like, whenever I go into a place, I always ask them, what is the one thing that you guys are really known for, that people go crazy over, that if you had to pick your top dish that people love more than anything, what is that one dish? So what is that one dish for you guys? Do you have one?
I don't know that we have them, so I'm
top 3?
I don't do a lot of the cooking myself because I just don't have the time to do it, because I try to keep my hands in pretty much all aspects of the business. So I'm in the office, I'm answering the phones, I'm going out to events, I'm, doing the food ordering, I'm doing the this and that, the scheduling, the payroll, try to keep a little bit of everything. So I don't get a lot of time to cook, which is good because I don't want to get sick of it. I want it to still be fun for me. So I'd say my specialty probably would be anything Italian. I think I really they use my sauce recipe, which was my mother's sauce recipe. We make that from scratch.
Well, that's good to
know.
know.
If you're getting a lasagna or if you're getting, ziti, baked ziti, then you're getting my mother's Italian recipe.
What about stromboli and calzones and stuff like that?
Yeah, we do that. We actually did a bunch of those this weekend. It's always we don't do them for a while, and then all of a sudden a whole bunch of people order it for some reason.
I love stromboli.
Yeah.
There's something about it.
It is good. And we really do a good stromboli.
You do a good stromboli?
Yeah.
I love calzones, but there's something, I don't know what I don't even really know what the difference is between stromboli and calzones, honestly, but it seems like there is a difference somehow.
There is.
But no matter what it is, I always want more sauce. I always have to ask for extra sauce.
Yeah,
there's never enough marinara sauce.
I'm with you. I want to dip it in there. And
it's all about dipping it in the sauce.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that because I started to say I don't do a lot of cooking, but so I have different chefs that do different things, and they all kind of have their specialties. So, and one of my chefs, Beth, she comes from a gourmet caterer on the other side of the state. And they would do, for some event that they did, hundreds and hundreds of stromboli. So she got, she's like the mistress of stromboli. She does an awesome that's probably her special. That or pierogi. She does an amazing pierogi too.
Pierogies are good
but
too.
my head chef, Brooklyn, she does her mac and cheese. I mean, people flock in for her mac and cheese.
Really?
It's really crazy. Yeah.
So the stromboli is good.
Yes.
The mac and cheese is good.
Yes.
The chicken pot pie is good.
Oh, yeah.
Is there anything that you can think of that would be better would represent you better than those 3 items, as far as just your top things that people go crazy over? I know it's a tough question.
Yeah, it is tough because we do some. We're not a restaurant, so we do some. I mean, we do breakfast, we do brunch, we do desserts.
Oh, you do breakfast and brunch too? Oh, I didn't realize that.
Oh, yeah, we do all that too.
Yeah.
We have an in-house baker who's amazing, and she's been doing some amazing wedding cakes and everything. So we bake all our stuff
so
in-house.
So you do breakfast, lunch, dinner, and dessert?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you name
everything.
it, you guys do it.
If it's food, we do it. Yeah. So it's tough to really narrow it down because we do some pretty awesome stuff.
There is another question that I like to ask people, and I actually forgot to ask my last guest, so I'll be happy to ask you. I'm glad I remember this. And this is, I'm going to catch you off guard with this one a little bit too, but I'm sure you've probably answered because you've been through a lot. And how long have you been? 7 years, you said?
We've been 7 years in business, yes.
So, is there something that you learned over the years that you wish you would have known when you first started? I like to ask this to business owners that have been in a business for a long time. Is there something that you now know that if you would have known when you first started, it would have helped you a lot along the way?
I think it's more of just the small things. It's the small things that you hone down after a little while that you lost money at. Because, for me, you really learn what not to do.
I think that's a really good key. It's not, in a lot of business facets, it's not so much what to do because everybody does those things. Right. It's what not to do.
Yeah, the events that we probably shouldn't have done, or maybe that we wasted time on.
Yeah.
But you always learn things from them. So I say I wasted time on it, but did you really waste time because
you learned? Because
I learned things from it, so that was extremely valuable.
Yeah, another thing that I recently came into a little bit was you either learn or you win. So if you lose, you learned.
Right.
So you didn't really lose. You learned.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you learn.
I
or
lost
you
some
win.
money, which is tough when you're starting a business. I started. It's just me. I started from scratch, and it's tough to start a business from scratch, especially a food industry business. And then being all on my own by myself on my own, it was tough, and every single penny counted, and it still does.
So I have one more question for you that, and I don't know if this is an easy one to answer or not. It's probably not, but I'll throw it out there anyway and see what you have to say about it.
Okay.
So would you say that over the 7 years it's been just a steady increase of clients, or would you say there was a point that it seems to be the word of mouth and the exposure that you've gotten recently? It seems like it's that hockey stick effect where now it's starting to really ramp up. Can you think of, is that the case? Because it seems to be the case from what I can tell. And I'm just an outsider looking in that doesn't know much about your business, but it appears to be that way to me.
I feel like it was a pretty steady increase over the first 6 years. And then we moved to Putnam and got a storefront. And so people can just stop in and they see the sign when they drive by. And we were really hidden away in East Killingly. So it was a struggle to get out there. And that was why I was out there so much in all these different outdoor events and all the different business associations. And, really anything I could do to get the name out there. But now I don't have to try quite so hard because we're out there.
You're right in the middle of it all now.
Right.
And you've already done all the work to expose yourself.
Yes.
To all the people that you wanted to contact.
Right.
So one more time before we close it out, let's just give your phone number and email address, web address, so people can learn more about you.
Okay, great. It's 860-412-9365. It's workinggirlcatering.com. Email is support@workinggirlcatering.com. And I think that's it.
And it's Renee Berube at Working Girl Catering.
Yes, and like us on Facebook because that's where you get the most information.
Right, yeah. All right, great. Well, thank you so much for being on the show, Renee. I appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
I'd like to have you back on again in, 3, 6, a year, whatever you want to do. Just let me know, and I'd be happy to accommodate you, have you on the show whenever you want.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening to the Real Deal Business Podcast. I'm Anthony Chabot with Chabot & Associates Real Estate Group of Keller Williams. And for more information, you can check us out on Facebook. Just do a search for the Real Deal Business Podcast or the Real Deal Real Estate Podcast, or do a search for me, Tony Chabot, Chabot & Associates. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time.